Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and for all of you loyal subscribers, welcome back to the channel. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot. I am back with another video, and for this one I wanted to focus on some wisdom and guidance from the ancestors, from the Native American or Native spirit energy, as well as the angels and just the energies of the fairies here with the Sacred Forest Oracle. So it's going to be a little bit of a different reading. But now that we're in December, and here we are in December 1st, I know many of you have felt like this year has gone by really fast, but then at times when you were moving through it, it may have felt like just like you were moving through kind of like sludgy pond water. So I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of uplifting energy, uplifting wisdom and messages to start the month of December. I apologize in advance for my cough, clearing my throat. I am still under the weather. I still have really bad allergies and I'm doing everything I can, but I've had allergies for years and it runs in my family and it always happens this time of year. So please forgive me in advance for any of those noises that might be annoying throughout the video. So we're going to begin, and I'm just going to call in the angels and the ancestors. And I just like to remind everybody that I am not accepting private readings at this time. I was in the past, and I'm focused on my group coaching program. And Holly, another very talented healer, and myself have teamed up together, and we do offer healing sessions. So it's 2-on-1 healing sessions, and you can find information about those over on my website on the offerings page. And I usually list information below the video here as well in the description box. And you can also check me out for more detailed posts over on Patreon. I have tons of written detailed posts. If you scroll back, I do have some videos, but what I've been doing recently is a lot of very detailed written posts that you can find over there. There's 3 different tiers and there's 3 different levels with different information for each level. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here and just calling in the angels and the ancestors for support and guidance. And please assist me and allow me to be a pure vessel of divine truth for this reading for the collective. And as we sail on through here, the last month of 2021, I know we're very eager to say goodbye to 2021. We're very eager to welcome in 2022. And we want to take the gifts and the lessons with us, but not the pain of what has transpired. So let's go ahead and move forward. And I'm actually going to start with the Sacred Forest Oracle. Just going to move these guys aside here. I'll try to cough away from the microphone if I can do my best. It's a challenge to talk right now. So okay, so asking for guidance from the fairies, from the fairy realm, and from the forest realm, the sacred forests of the world and sacred lands. And let's get some messages for the Divine Feminine. What does she need to know today? What does she need to know here as we enter the month of December 2021? Got a few cards that wanted to jump out there to be seen. Purification, which I believe showed up in yesterday's reading, or the day before. I did a reading 2 days ago. Trust, generosity, and freedom. So we've got Eagle Spirit, Maple Spirit, Crystal Cave, and Pure Spirit. So I actually feel like Crystal Cave and Pure Spirit here, you know, going into the crystal cave of one's heart. Whenever I see the word cave, I think of the heart chakra and going into the heart chakra and purifying and getting back to your true essence, which is what the feminine is doing right now. And she's sort of in this hibernation period, and it's quite fitting because of the season that we'll be moving into. So we move into the month of December and moving forward into the winter solstice that we will have here in the Northern Hemisphere. And it is interesting because the feminine has probably felt this way for quite some time. So I feel some of you might be feeling a little bit of angst of seeing this card, as in where's the counterpart, where's the partner, even if it's not the counterpart, because a lot of you guys have released that attachment to the label or are doing so right now. really another layer of ego purification. The attaching to a label, guys, is another way to attach to the ego. And so when we release the label, when we release the expectation of another person or another, like a partnership defining us, or a job defining us, or friendship defining us, then in that way we've released another layer of the ego. So that's what's happening right now, is when your counterpart does come back in, for those of you who have been in a period of long separation, it's going to feel different, and you may not feel the same. And I don't say this to scare you. I don't say this to alarm you or to upset you. I'm just saying this to empower you, and so you understand that because so much has transpired and so much growth has happened, there's going to be work that needs to be done together. You guys have been doing, those of you who have been in separation, you've been doing work separately. The next chapter will see you working together, and we'll see the masculine energy really in the physical realm making efforts, making strides to make things right. But I do feel like a lot of the feminines have kind of had it, or you feel like you've lost that. You just feel like you've lost that spark for your counterpart, and this can be alarming when you first experience this. You might feel like, was this really my true counterpart? Maybe I got it all wrong. Maybe I made this up in my head. And the ego and the mind will kind of take you on a journey. But what's really happening is, again, another purification process where you're just releasing that which doesn't serve you. And it doesn't serve you to attach to something outside of yourself anymore, because you've worked on inner union so much. So you're going to be continuing to work on inner union. And I'm not saying that you can't retrieve that loving feeling, like that song, I've Lost That Loving Feeling, is coming up. I'm not saying that can't be retrieved or built on, but it's going to look different because it's going to have a secure and solid foundation, which it didn't have in the past. It's going to be more built and based on friendship and partnership and working together than lust and, that kind of romantic energy. Again, I'm not saying that you're not going to have romantic feelings for your counterpart ever again, but it's going to look and feel different. It's going to be a more mature version of the connection. And some of you have already experienced that. And it's going to be, again, a partnership where you work together, you help each other, you guide each other, and where the masculine is a more solid physical presence in the feminine's life. So just wanted to explain that a little bit of what some of you might be feeling. I think a lot of you might be feeling out there, because a lot of you responded to my last video about letting go of the twin flame label, and you're in that exact position, or you guys have responded on Patreon. So I know that it's occurring. I know that it's something the feminine is moving through right now. Okay, so let's look at these two cards, the Eagle Spirit, which is connected to the energy of Scorpio. It's the second symbol of Scorpio. You start with the scorpion, then you have the eagle, then you have the phoenix. So it's sort of like this animal that is very powerful and is an apex predator, meaning doesn't have an actual enemy, so to speak, in nature. Nobody can really conquer the eagle. So the eagle, it will die of natural causes. There's nobody preying on the eagle. The ego is at the top of the food chain. So it's interesting to see this along with the unicorn spirit, which is magic and miracles, and inviting that in, divine feminine, and just this mystical energy that we see here. When we rise above the bullshit, we rise above the intolerance, when we rise above the energy of fear, the energy of separation, that illusion of separation, whether it's from your counterpart or just the public, or and in general from other people. Separation occurs through religion, through culture, through language, through gender, through sexuality, through all of these constructs, these social constructs that we've created that have actually created division among us instead of bringing us together. And so this is the energy of the feminine actually really, learning to trust herself, learning to trust in the divine, learning to trust in her own inner guidance and wisdom, and making good choices this time around. And that's where those healthy boundaries will come up, because they will be needed with the masculine, because the masculine, I think, is going to want to rush in and just make things right and explain themselves and kind of just start, let's just start over. And the feminine's like, well, slow down your roll. These are my boundaries now. This is what I will and won't accept. And it's going to look different. And it's going to be a very, very healthy connection. Whereas in the past, there were some toxic elements that really needed to be worked through on both sides, which is why oftentimes a separation happens, whether it's long separation, physical separation, or some sort of emotional separation, so that you can both work on that. Now, the feminine is definitely gained her wings. We have, actually, it's not a unicorn, it's a Pegasus. So the Pegasus is a unicorn with wings, and the eagle. So there is a sense of being released from that which doesn't serve you. And, you know, in doing so, in being released from that which doesn't serve you, feminine, you can invite in the new and what is going to serve you. It's interesting because it's like this card is an invitation to explore. It's an invitation to go on an adventure. It's an invitation to allow your soul to lead the way. And excuse me, it's so hard to talk right now. And to allow the energies to really uplift you. And you're going to be seeing freely, and you're going to be seeing clearly and feeling more free than you ever have before. So from anything that's confined you, feminine, you're really releasing those chains and shackles right now. You're not holding back. You're living life on your terms, and you're not going to be trapped by any, you know, expectations or opinions of others anymore, including your counterpart, really. Now, the maple spirit comes in to just remind us of the generous nature of our true nature and what we came here to do, which was to be of service. So you're being asked to be open to receiving the fruit, right? The fruits of your labor, the fruits of all the hard work that you put in, but also to give back to others as well. And it's like a warmth of spirit that comes through with this card. Just a very warm spirit. It's a very fall energy, which of course we're in the season of fall right now. Just want to see what this is. It looks like a stone of sorts. But you can see just the crystalline energy, the light that's coming through to purify, to cleanse, to rejuvenate. That sunshine is so healing. Guys, go out in the sun. Get your sun. The sun heals. The sun has phytonutrients and phytochemicals that heal the body, that heal the cells. So you're just being asked to, you know, there's an illumination process that's going through here that the feminine is going through here, with the generosity and the freedom card and the purification and trust. There's just a lot of, you're working on many different levels right now, feminine. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus. So yeah, there's a bit of protection energy or protection element that comes through for the feminine right now that says, you know, just protect what you've created, protect your ideas, protect your thoughts. You know, those are intellectual property. So protect any intellectual property you have. Don't go kind of announcing it on social media. It's always more powerful when you keep that to yourself, and then all of a sudden it's announced and nobody even knew it was coming. So and you know, keeping your relationships private, keeping your private, the private aspects of your life private are really kind of called for at this time, and it makes the moves that you do make that more powerful. So, you know, she's protecting herself. She doesn't need anybody to protect her. You can very much see that she is her own protector, and she creates her own destiny. Shield Maiden is one of my favorites just because to me she embodies this beautiful energy of the woman taking care of herself. Okay, the feminine energy being, you know, strong and fierce, but also gentle. You can see that gentleness inside of her. You see that kind of innocence, but she's also strong and fierce, and she's not asking for someone else to protect her. But this is about you moving forward, and she is a female knight. So this is, you know, you're being knighted in some way. So your ancestors, the angels are definitely knighting you. And I don't know if you guys know, but in Viking culture, in Viking tradition, a female was seen as equal to the man. So she would go out and fight along with the men. She was not seen as less than, she was not seen as weaker than physically weaker or emotionally weaker. She was just regarded as equal. And so a lot of us have Viking with, in us. We have Scandinavian energy and Scandinavian roots or Viking roots in some way. And so you feel this, past lives or even in this lifetime, where you feel like you just need to stand up for something. Like, I need to stand up and stand out. So if you feel that energy, you could be very connected to the Shield Maiden. And so she's bringing this message that it's okay to take time. It's okay to develop a plan for the next steps. You don't need to kind of rush into anything divine feminine. And that's what December is going to be. It's not about taking action, because guys, we're going to be busy next year. There's a lot of, we've integrated this year and next year. It's like we learned in 2019 and then had the dark night of the soul, had the, towers falling, everything crashing, falling down. 2020 saw us kind of going through that process, picking up the pieces. The integration happened in 2021, and then 2022 is a year of action. It's the year where we fulfill the plans, where the plans have been laid out and now we act on them. Okay, so there's going to just be, you're going to want to conserve your energy. Just trust me on this if you can. Just take time out this month. Don't feel rushed to do anything. Okay, take time out, breathe, honor what you need to honor within yourself and within your life, okay? But there's definitely a fierce feminine energy in the Maiden Shield Maiden here. But she wants to go to battle. But again, her medicine is having that plan first. So having that plan and moving through any doubt or uncertainty, okay? So you can call on her to help you move through that doubt and uncertainty in the month of December here. But just understand that she is protecting your journey, she's protecting your plans, and she's gonna assist you moving forward past doubt, fear, and uncertainty, but also allowing you to jump when the time is right and not prematurely, okay? Don't act prematurely. Especially this month, if you feel called to reach out to your counterpart, I would advise you to sit with that for 24 to 48 hours, okay? Even 72 hours. Sit with that and see if you still have that urge, or see if you can work through it in the 5D. If you still have that urge, you know what to do. It's your journey. But if it starts to dissipate, or you are able to work it out amongst yourself, right, within, then I would be advisable to do that, because I think a lot of emotions are going to come up this month, and a lot of it is what you're feeling is the masculine finally moving forward, and he wants to take a leap or a step, in the physical, and the feminine is going to feel that and may feel like she needs to reach out to him to encourage him, but he's got to make this leap of faith on his own. And if you don't trust that he can do it, then that is where your work needs to be done, divine feminine. Like, if you don't, sorry, I still have if you guys saw my starry pants, I still have my night pants on, my sleeping pants. But yeah, if you don't trust that your masculine can do it and you feel like you need to give them a push, that's ego. That's ego. And a lot of us were in that energy last year, and then we kind of cooled off this year. So if you still feel that, I want you guys to sit with it and ascertain whether that is coming from ego or whether it's coming from your heart. Okay, so we have Traveler, move in a new direction. Interesting, Shield Maiden says, okay, make plans and focus. And then Traveler says, move in a new direction. Again, in 2022, some of you are going to be moving home. Some of you are going to be moving locations. Some of you are going to be moving countries, especially if you're in a country where you feel like there's, you're unable to live freely. You're going to be escaping that country, and you're going to be leaving. And I know a lot of people are coming to the US. A lot of people are moving to Texas, to Florida. A lot of people are moving out of California, for one, and New York, and coming to Texas and Florida for obvious reasons. And so you guys are going to be called to travel in a new direction and to really and truly embody your truth in all ways. And so don't worry about, do that root chakra healing. Eat those rich red foods now, so that you heal the root chakra, so that you're ready to take this move. But there's going to be some moves, I feel, at the beginning of 2022, and in fact, myself included, making those physical moves. And it might feel scary. It might feel like a radical leap of faith or jump, but you're being supported here. You're being supported to shift. Like, your energy shifts when you shift direction. So whatever that means for you, and whatever you think is going to bring you the most, I would say, like, the most happiness, the most joy, And this could be an inner move, by the way, guys. If it's not a physical outer move, it's an inner move that you're going to make inside of yourself. Some traveling that you'll do within. You're going to traverse some sort of new land or new energy or opportunity is going to be presented to you. There's a lot of ancestral wisdom that's encouraging you guys right now to move forward, okay? Some of you just might be going on a trip. It might not be an actual move, but you might be going on an extended or a lengthy trip. And it's going to be very exciting because you're going to learn a lot about yourself in the process, a lot about the world, a lot about what is really going on in the world. And some of you are going to have a change of heart or a change of mind about the state of affairs or state of events of the world right now. And your eyes are really going to be open to some pretty radical truths that you may not have been able to accept before. So let's look at the Native Spirit deck, and this won't be a long reading, guys, because I am exhausted and I've got to rest my voice. But I am going to post this today for you guys as a welcome to the month of December. And let's get some guidance here from the Native Spirit Oracle cards. Let me get talking to the Native and communicating to our Native American ancestors. Spirit Keeper of the West. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful story that's unfolding. So what do we know about the West? Well, we know that there is, right, the East represents something new. The West represents what are we closing out? Okay, there's a transformation. It's letting go of the old. This is a beautiful story that's being told here. Freedom, purification, trust. This is all moving things out of the way and moving the new in. Spirit Keeper of the West, transformation, letting go of the old stories, letting go of the old us, letting go of the old land or the old house, traveling in a new direction, making plans and focusing because you're it's like getting rid of the garbage or any clunkiness that you have accumulated. There's a rite of passage and like an initiation that you're moving through here with Spirit Keeper of the West, because you can't move forward until you let go of the past. So this is definitely about trusting your heart, trusting your soul, trusting your spirit, trusting the direction that you're being led in. And know that if there's any confusion as to where to go, because I know it can be confusing right now, like where do you actually want to live? Where is it safe? Where do you feel like you can live in freedom? Where do you feel like you're going to be supported, where you can find your tribe? I mean, there's a lot of questions coming up for everyone now. The feminine wants no more drama, no more turmoil. She wants to live a life free of all of that. You've had enough drama for several lifetimes. And the feminine is really saying, I don't want drama in my relationships. I like you're letting go of the old story. You're letting go of the old counterpart. And what I mean by that is you're letting go of the counterpart in the way in which they appeared previously in your life so that you can welcome in a new version of them and a higher version of them where they're actually embodying their truth, embodying their authenticity, where they've let go of the things that were holding them down, the things that were breaking them, the things that were keeping you guys apart. And you're just not willing to go backwards anymore. You're not willing to deal with in and out behavior or the hot and the cold or the wishy-washy or I don't know, and I don't know what you mean to me. I don't know what this is. And the feminine says, no, if you don't know, then I'm going to make up your mind for you and I'm going to walk away because I just don't have the energy to contain this kind of energy in my life and my heart anymore. And your soul is calling and screaming out for something fresh. And that's why you've had to walk away, or you've been guided to walk away from the old version of the counterpart. There's also the old version of you because you allowed those cycles to play out by playing into them, right? By picking up the phone when they called, when you knew that, let's say they had been drinking, or picking up the phone when you knew that they were still married or they were still in the third party situation, or they were going to come in and out, and you knew this and you still allowed that energy in. So we have to take responsibility, but at the same time, let go, release, and forgive. This is a journey that you're on. So one of the things you can do right now to really encourage this and to support yourself in moving forward here and letting go is go outside, get in the sunshine. So do it on a sunny day and face the direction of west. Okay, face that direction. And Obviously, wear sunglasses if you need to. I feel like I have to say that as a disclaimer. Don't look directly into the sun, but let the sun bathe you. Let the sun bask in the magic and the minerals and the vitamins of the sun, and allow yourself to absorb that pure vitamin D. And imagine that all blocks and all limitations, all obstacles are being removed. And imagine that they're being removed and they're being transmuted. So they're literally releasing into the energy of the sun, and they're being transmuted into something pure, and they're radiating love back to you, and joy and abundance back to you. Okay, so I want you guys to imagine the purification, the purifying energy that the sun carries as the sun sets in the west. So I would do this when the sun is setting. In fact, I'm going to do this tonight because I think this is a wonderful exercise. A wonderful exercise for you to really truly just embody the new journey, the new chapter of the journey, which is going to look nothing like the past. And guys, I'm telling you, you remember how I said earlier, like 6 months ago, when your counterpart comes back, it's going to be a new version of them. When your counterpart comes back in 2022, if they haven't come back, they probably came in and out in 2021, but when they come back for a more permanent visit in 2022, it's going to be nothing like the old version of them. It's going to be nothing like that old version, because they know they can't come back. They're not allowed. They're actually being prevented from coming back if they're still in that energy, if they're still in the throes of addiction, if they're still married, if they're still with a karmic partner, if they're still married to their job, if they're still in some way acting out of a narcissistic program. They're not going to be allowed to come in, because the feminine has risen too high. She has made choices in her life that have basically blocked those kind of energies. And in doing so, the masculine is being forced to level up, because what's happening with the masculine is he desires the feminine, okay? He wants to be with you, but then he got in his own way. Well, I don't see how this could work logically, realistically. And the feminine got so tired of hearing that, because she was going by her heart. She was being led by her heart, not her mind. He's now having to integrate his heart and his mind. He's now hearing your words being repeated ad nauseum over and over and over again in his head. He can't ignore you. He can't forget about you. He can't move on from you. No matter what he tries to do, the alcohol doesn't replace you. The drugs don't replace you. The gambling doesn't replace you. The lust energy, right? The karmic partners, the sexual energy, having sex with someone new. None of those things, or working overtime, starting a new business. None of those things have allowed him to let you go or forget about you. So now he knows, I've got to do the work to get to her. And he knows this. And he knows he can't come in half-assed ever again. So if you guys are part of the group that have really put your foot down, set your healthy and proper boundaries, setting boundaries is not being a bitch. Okay, this is something society needs to change now. Setting boundaries is a way of protecting yourself. It's a way of respecting yourself, and it's a way of loving yourself. And you can do it firmly and still do it out of love. But the masculine is going to need those boundaries, and they may need to be implemented over and over again. And you just know that I do not allow this type of behavior in my life anymore. I don't allow this type of person in my life anymore. So the masculine has to decide what kind of person they want to be from this point forward, because the feminine is moving forward. The feminine is clearly moving on with her life. You're either with me or you're not. You're either in or you're out. There's no in between. There's no maybe. There's no I don't know. That kind of energy, that kind of nonchalance, or that kind of indecisive energy has got to go. You either want to be with me, want to create a life with me, want to do this together, want to be my partner, or you don't. The feminine will no longer take second best to anything or anyone in the masculine's life. Children excluded, of course. Children always come first. But, the feminine is saying, I know my worth, I know who I am, and I know where I'm going. And you have had many opportunities to come with me, and you've made many choices, many poor choices that have led you down a dark path. And for a long time, the feminine supported the masculine, and now the feminine is stepping back and allowing him to fall and allowing him to make his mistakes and have to pick himself up. She's not picking him up anymore. She's not there to kind of wipe his boo-boo, you know, and put a Band-Aid on it and say everything will be okay. He's having to do that. He's having to dig deep within his own inner feminine and find that place of inner union to do that for himself. So I hope that this reading has given you guys clarity. I hope that, you know, if there's a DM watching, I hope that this was not meant to be or intended to be harsh ever. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us. So this is for the inner masculine energy inside of the person who identifies as the feminine. And we all need to hear this, right? And we've, you know, the feminine has worked through these energies too. The feminine was in toxic energy in the past. The feminine was, you know, doing the in and out behavior, hurting people and making poor choices or in the throes of addiction. Now it's the masculine. And your feminine loves you, your feminine supports you, but she has to do it from a distance right now to protect herself. So please understand and know that, masculine, that we are on your side. We are still rooting for you. We're your biggest cheerleader, but we're just doing it from a distance now until you get to a healthy place. So I send you guys all a lot of love on this December 1st. Welcome to a brand new month. Let's hope that we get the rest and rejuvenation we need this month, and we keep the drama as light as possible through the holidays. And I send you guys radiating light, radiating warmth, and a lot of love. Take care. See you soon.